Greetings from Billy's Goat Hill Farm and Apiary in Westminster, South Carolina. We have developed our own version of the European Api-Air system, where you breathe the air from the hive, which helps with several respiratory distress issues. Today we're going to take you over to a home of a customer that's been coming to our inside apiary units and has actually been healed from a granuloma on his right lung. So we'll be going over to Mr. Crawford's here in a few minutes, and we'll show you how to install your own apiary system, which you can purchase from us at www.billysgoathill.net. Thank you. So now we're here at Mr. Crawford's house. We're going to be installing his new apiary system to help him with his breathing situations. And my husband will be putting a hole in the wall over here.
All right, so I've already set the bricks and leveled them here. There's 2 layers of bricks to get it to the right height. And I've measured out where I want the hole to penetrate the wall to bring in the ENT flexible tubing. It's like a flexible conduit to allow the airflow from the hive to the fan box. Now I'm going to set the hive. Okay, so the hive that we've set here now has a brood box on the bottom, and then there's a super on the top. And this section here is a section that provides the api-air to go down the tubing into the inside of the dwelling for the air box to connect to. The ENT connects up to this union that's here, and it will go through the hole in the wall. Now I've got the tools together to put the hole through the wall. This for this ENT, you'll need a 1 1/8 inch hole saw. Okay, so that gets your hole through the outside wall, and then we'll be transferring to the inside here in a minute. After I go to the inside, we'll start filming again. All right, so now we're on the inside of the dwelling, and you use the same 1 1/8 inch hole saw, and you put a hole through the interior wall. Usually it's sheetrock. You got to make sure that you don't try to drill through a stud. So you have to measure out where your studs are. It's best to use a stud finder to make sure that you're not going to hit a stud, because then you made a hole through your wall in an area that you can't use, and you'll have to change. So locate the studs first, make sure you go between the studs, and that you don't hit any wiring. And then you're able to go. So here we go. Okay, so as you can see, now we got a hole that goes through the wall. So you have to use some kind of a long device. This is just a long screwdriver to go through the wall and move the insulation out of the way, because there's always going to be insulation in the wall for the most part. And you got to move it out of the way so that you can get your tubing through. Otherwise, you'll never get the tubing through. Takes a little bit of a minute there. So this is the fun part that Galen will be able to help with. She's going to use this screwdriver here and try to look through this hole while I push the ENT flexible conduit from the outside through. Okay, so now we're back on the outside of the house. this material here is flexible ENT conduit. It's normally an electrical item, but it works excellent for this application. You just slide it through the hole, and it goes through into the inside of the house. And then once you get it through there, forgot to take a piece off. Once you get it through to the inside of the house, then you simply connect it up to the union coupling that's on the top of the hive that we designed. Make sure everything's nice and snug. And now you have a nice watertight connection for the hive, so no matter how bad the storm is, it will not get in the tube, and the tube will go through the house. At a later time, you'll use like clear silicone sealant, and you'll seal around this opening. It's a pretty good fit right now, but you got to make it so that it's watertight. Okay, so now we're on the inside. You can see the ENT came inside. We just have to cut it to the right length and put the end on it. For that, you need the rest of the kit. This is the kit here that's used with an inside unit. The inlet for the air coming into the kit, the outlet that goes to the face mask, and the on and off switch with a variable speed to control the airflow of the fan on the inside. So now all we have to do is figure out the distance that we need, roughly. So now you just put your pieces up there so you can kind of get a rough estimate of what you need, and then you can figure out where you need to cut the tubing. This tubing cuts really easy with a razor knife. You can use a saw if you like. Try not to cut your fingers. Probably should wear gloves, but this is the way we have it. Just cut that off like that. Put your knife away so you don't hurt yourself. Then you push this coupling on. It just pushes on. You gotta make sure it goes all the way in so that it seals properly. And that goes all the way in like that. It's kind of hard to push in. You can look on the inside to make sure that the tubing is pushed against the edge that it's supposed to rest again. And then you screw on the piece after you put this piece on here. Like that. Then you have the union that connects to the rest of the union on the fan box. And it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because it is flexible tubing, so you get it where you want it to be. And it's pretty much installed. Then all you have to do is connect up your air to the tubing outlet for the air from the box, and that goes to your face mask, and plug it in and operate it. So now all you do is this mechanism here is the air mask part that goes to the patient, and it connects on right here onto the outlet. Once it's there, you don't have to take it off again. And then I'm going to turn this over to Gayleen.
So here's Mr. Crawford. We've been talking about him all morning. Put this on his face. That kind of hurt him. And now he can reach right over here. Is it on?
Yeah. And just adjust how you like it to be. You like this? I'm going to walk through here.
I started doing this a little less than a year ago. At that point in time, I had a cyst in my lungs called a granuloma. And after about 6 to 8 weeks of breathing this air, I noticed one day that there was no longer pain in my chest. So I went back to my pulmonologist, told him about it, he checked me, and there was no evidence of this thing left in my chest. And the only thing I can attribute to taking the granuloma away is breathing the air off of this beehive. So it's been a tremendous blessing to me to know that I don't have something inside my lungs that could potentially have grown into a cancerous-like cyst. So again, I attribute all that to the air that comes off the beehive and to this family that has set this device up so that I can come and breathe it. So thank you for listening.
Yes, I'm Dennis Soros. I've been doing the beehive treatment, breathing to the hive and getting animal therapy with the bee stings. I am disabled with severe COPD. I haven't had a nebulizer that I'm supposed to be doing twice a day, 2 different nebulizers since the end of February. I don't shake like I did when I was doing my nebulizers, and I can breathe better now than I could back a year ago. My mother's even noticed a difference in the way I do and what I can do. This has really helped me. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're back at the farm to just conclude this installation video of the kit that we sell. I wanted to mention that these 2 pieces to the kit that are here are required for this to work, along with the section of ENT, the blue corrugated flexible tubing that I had, to make this work. I wanted to point out that this is a top for a 8-frame beehive, okay? This is not a standard top. This top has been modified by me to make it work to be the safest possible. Make it so that there's no way that the bees can get up into the tubing and into your face. So this top is required to make this work. You can't just use a standard top. And that concludes this installation video.